Welcome to the ProGolfGals Podcast with Dennise Hutton and Anne Rollo, the Pro Golf Gals.
Dee! Oh my gosh, our first podcast episode. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I just hope we don't talk too much.
We have been known to waffle, and this kind of gives us license to waffle, so we're going to be very careful not to do that. But what we really want to do with this podcast is to answer your questions and also have a few fun segments where you can write in and ask us, you know, anything you want to know about golf. And yeah, maybe you've got some ideas for some fun segments as well. But we thought we might do your most embarrassing moment of the golf course, because it's probably not that embarrassing and it allows other people to feel, you know, more comfortable.
We all have those. We've all had those embarrassing moments, no matter what. And I think, Annie, we were saying, this podcast is for our community, for the Pro Golf Gals community. So it's your podcast as well. Just send in what you want to hear, what you'd like to do, and we're going to try to fulfill all your wishes.
Jeez, it's a bit of pressure. So to start us off with, I thought, because we haven't had a chance to really canvass for many questions yet, and it's the night before our golf school. We're in Coinda Waters on the Central Coast.
Having a glass of water.
Well, maybe not water. But we're about an hour's drive north of Sydney, and we always come up for our golf school the night before. We do a little bit of filming, and so that's where we are right now. We're doing our first podcast episode. We've got a glass of wine, and we are going to start with this question here. Now, this one is on just a Facebook golfing group, because we haven't had a chance to really canvass too many people for questions.
In other words, we haven't sent it out to you yet.
That's right. We thought we'd put a few podcasts together first, and then, you know, we'll go from there. But anyway, that's what the pros do, I'm told. So that's what we're going to do. So this is the question. Hey, I've been playing for around 2 to 3 months now. I cannot drive a ball further than 100 yards. I really struggle when I'm on a par 5 hole with this. Any tips?
Well, I think if she's driving at 100 yards and she's only been playing 2 or 3 months, that's pretty damn good for a beginner.
That is not long.
Yeah,
2 to 3 months is like a blink.
It's like you've just been conceived by your
That's
mum and
right.
dad.
You haven't even been born yet in golfing terms.
No.
Yes.
You're probably into the first trimester or whatever.
If you're consistently hitting the ball 100 yards and you've only been playing 2 or 3 months, that's pretty darn good. But for the sake of the question, Dee, let's answer the question. What would you say are the 3 biggest things that create power in the swing?
Well, you can answer one of those. What I was going to say to this viewer and to all of us, if I only hit the ball 100 yards, I'm not going to I won't be playing off zero. But more than likely, this lady's handicap's up there. So if she wants to enjoy the game of golf, she just has to plot a way around the golf course.
Yes.
So if she's just getting into golf and she hits it 100 yards, if it's a par 5, she probably gets 2 or 3 shots on it.
That's
She's
right.
allowed to have 8.
That's right.
So you go 100, 90, you get there,
that's
and you're
right.
having the same as if you went out and played with
She
a
can
pro.
feasibly get onto the green in 4.
Yep, 4 or 5.
If she's hit 4 good shots. So you know what? It's not about distance. It's about consistency.
Keeping it in play.
Keeping it down the middle. So this is a really good general. Don't beat yourself up about distance.
No.
Honestly, it's really not the number one thing.
No, like, I know this is like, if we think where we used to be when we were playing on tour, I probably hit the ball 2 clubs less or 3 clubs less, nowhere near as consistent. Yeah. But I enjoy the game a great deal now, because I know I can't do every now and again I think I go back 30 years and I end up in the bunker because I'm trying to do something stupid. I think the way to enjoy golf is to have a program where you're going to constantly and consistently improve. But to enjoy the moment, go out and play with what you got now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I think is so a bit false about golf, is that you can be a beginner golfer and somehow get a par, and then you think that's what you got to do all the time.
Yeah, you think that's my new standard when it's really
it's
not.
So you got to love the game, find the way.
But you know, the distance thing though, Dee, you will naturally develop more distance as your swing develops, as the particular muscles that you're using, as you play more. You're going to start hitting the ball a bit further without you doing anything other than continuing to play golf.
Yeah.
So don't stress too much about that.
At this early stage, if she's only been playing that long, we would highly recommend that you go see your PGA pro, not your friend or whatever.
Yeah,
go
don't
see a
listen to your
pro.
mates.
Don't just go for a half-hour lesson. That's a waste of your money and your time a little bit, because in half an hour they can't do much. Go onto a program and set some goals with your pro and say, this is in 6 months I'm going to have 2 lessons off you, 2-hour lessons, or whatever you're going to do. Go on a program, set a goal, go for that goal with your pro. Have a plan. You've got to have a plan.
Yeah, and enjoy the process. This is the fun part. When you're starting and you can see yourself improving, I've had half a glass of wine, improving with each time you play. That's the fun end. Yeah. When you get to our end, where you've been playing for however many years and the only way's down, it's really the fun part. When you're starting is when it's really fun. So just enjoy it and don't beat yourself up in any way. But just quickly, so we've given you the tip that you've asked for. No, I would say number one thing for creating power, shoulder turn or body turn in the swing. Which,
how old is this lady?
We don't have a whole lot of detail on this, Dee. It's just a 3-line Facebook post, so I don't know.
And the easiest thing is, hopefully she's not using her husband's clubs or her
that's a
partner's
good
clubs.
point, isn't it?
Hopefully she's got clubs that she can generate some club head speed with.
Getting fitted for golf clubs as early in your golfing career as you possibly can afford, the better.
Absolutely, and not have I get a lot of beginner people who say, my 4-iron and my 3-iron are my favourite clubs, and to me they're the destroyer of golf clubs. Get something that's got a bit of loft. Yeah, of golf swings, not golf clubs. But they're dangerous golf clubs. They should not be in most people's golf bags, I don't believe. So have something that's got a bit of loft.
Yes, you're more user-friendly.
Yeah, exactly. So what have we got?
We've got body turn, big one. What else would you say?
I think having going and getting on a coaching program.
And getting clubs that suit you.
She doesn't need a lot of clubs, but clubs that suit
you. That's right.
Not too heavy, not the shaft too stiff. That would be vital.
Your weight moving in the right direction during the swing. A lot of people fall back on their back foot, which that costs you power. These are just some basic power, leakers you might call them. So,
and the biggest way to I think a very important way, taking out all the technical stuff, is if you can just allow your golf swing to flow. So one of the problems for beginner golfers is that they get too technical. Not only beginner golfers, all golfers, they get so technical that they can't let it flow. Yes. There's no speed.
Imagine you're a 5-year-old kid who picked up a golf club and had a swing for the first time. Imagine how flowing and fluid that would be. They wouldn't care about, and that's how you've got to be. Let the club do the work. It is designed to do it for you, and a lot of the times as golfers we try so hard to do the work for the club that all sort of dynamics is lost,
So I think we're saying technically, get your grip, your posture, your stance, get good balance, swing back, swing through, have some lessons, let it flow, get the equipment right, be kind to yourself, and realise 100 yards or 100 metres. If you can do that consistently, you have a handicap, that levels the playing field, and be on a path for continued growth. Yeah. So you're just starting here. Don't beat yourself up.
There you go. That's it in a nutshell. Good one. This is fun. I'm having fun with this. Okay, next question. Let me need to see what I can find one here. Okay, Dee. Next question is a short and sharp one.
Short and sharp.
It is. It's an interesting one though, and we like the sound of this question. The question is, why is it impossible to have back-to-back good rounds?
Well, that's a great question. I don't think it's impossible because the top pros do it. They generally win.
Yeah.
So number one, I think it's a mindset. We shouldn't say it's impossible.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're telling yourself it's impossible, it's going to be.
More than likely it would be. Yeah. I think the other reason we find it difficult is because once we have a good round, all of a sudden our expectations are really high. Yes. And in my opinion, once we have really high expectations, that then creates tension. Tension and stress can destroy our swing and stop the flow once again. Stop this.
And like you said a minute ago, you have one good shot or one good round, and you think, oh, that's me sorted now. And it's not. Yeah. Golf is inherently inconsistent.
Yeah, golf's a very, very difficult. It is a difficult game to play.
It's the most difficult game.
Yeah, made more difficult by the fact that we think we can think our way through it. So I think that's one of the problems. Intellectually, we have one good round, and then we think, oh, I won't be able to have another round. Like this lady's or man is already saying it's impossible.
Yeah.
And it is challenging, but if you don't care, like beware of the sick golfer.
Yes.
They have no expectations, so they tend to play better.
Yeah,
or even if you're playing 9 holes and you have a rubbish 9 holes, you then go, oh, well, that's the end, and then you come good. And then you come good because
you don't care.
Stopped your expectations.
That's exactly right. And thinking about the past or about the future is hopeless in golf. So
absolutely,
one shot at a time. Forget what you've done before. That really is the key to all good golf, I think, is have your pre-shot routine, play one shot at a time, focus on the shot that's there and that it is at hand, and forget what's gone before. And that way you can't be affected by, oh, I've just had a great round or I've just had a really bad round. The same if you had a terrible round. You're thinking, oh, is next one going to be terrible as well? So there's no reason why you can't have 2 good rounds in a row. In fact, if you're having a bit of a purple patch, often that's what happens. You'll have a month or 2 of playing really, really well, and you will put back-to-back rounds together. So it's highly possible to do that. So it's probably more of a mindset.
It's a mindset, and probably the expectations. Depends what handicap this person's on, because there's a technical issue there. You know, if there's technical things, it's hard to be consistent. Even the best players aren't consistent.
Right. Exactly.
Remember that time Rory McIlroy for the British Open, when it was played in Ireland for the first time in ages, I don't know the exact number, and I should, but I don't. But there was something like a 15-shot swing between day 1 and day 2.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just missed the cut. This is one of the world's best players. So... And that was Rory would agree. He would say, and I think I heard him say, you know, there was just that stress and the pressure he put on himself.
Yeah, it's huge. It's such a mental game.
And
golf,
that's self-talk. That people already say it's impossible. So if you think it's impossible,
well, that's
more than
exactly
likely
right.
it's going to be impossible.
Yes, love it. Okay, so hopefully that's answered that question. It is not impossible to put 2 good rounds back to back, especially if you have the right mindset and you don't tell yourself that it's impossible.
Yeah, and you know, also so long as you're playing, you know, depends what your handicap is.
Yes.
So a good round could be still, 3 or 4 over your handicap, still a good round.
That's right, exactly. So just keep pushing forward and don't
and
sort
enjoy
of think,
the moment.
Yeah,
like,
stay in the moment. Play
That's
one
what I
shot
think.
at a
How
time.
beautiful is golf? You know, in a
Yes.
way, if we could forget about the score and just enjoy the walk, enjoy the scenery, how fortunate are we when we play golf?
Absolutely do.
Beautiful scenery, best golf courses, generally good company.
Yes, yeah. It's
Well,
the
after
best
playing
sport in
golf.
the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to finish up our first ever podcast with our...
That's half an hour gone already.
It goes quickly, doesn't it?
I thought we
It
were
goes
going
quickly when
to
you're
talk
chatting.
for 5 minutes.
We were going to say... So the question's going to be... We want people to write in and say what their most embarrassing moment on the golf course is, just as a bit of fun. And so we thought we would start with our own, just to kick it off. And I've actually talked about this moment for me on a previous video that we've done, Dee, but I'll say this one again because Dee couldn't even remember it. So I thought if Dee can't remember it, you probably can't all either.
I've so got a good memory.
But this one for me was in a tournament in Belgium. I was playing golf with Laura Davies, who at the time was the legend of the tour.
Still a legend.
Still a legend, yeah, exactly. Nothing's changed. And she was one of the ladies from the club was caddying for her for that. I'm not sure why that was. I think it was a friend of the family or something like that.
Because she had
normally
her own
she
caddy,
had her own caddy, but there was something that was different this week. So she had this lady who was using one of those electric buggies, and I was the lady went to the loo on the 10th, and Laura said, well, I'm going to go to the loo as well. I said, look, I'll take your buggy up the hill. It was one of these electric things that I'd never seen before, because back in whatever it was, 1990 something, these were pretty new. And I go, I'll take your buggy, don't worry, you go to the loo, I'll be... So I'm going up this really steep hill with this buggy that I had no idea how to work, and it wasn't really going up the hill, so I kept turning the power up more and more and more. And all of a sudden it tips up, it takes off up the hill at 100 miles an hour, and all of her golf clubs, her balls, everything's bouncing down the hill.
You're talking about Dame Laura Davies' golf ball.
Laura Davies' golf bag is like disintegrating in front of me, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like running around chasing after all the stuff that's falling out of her bag. I was so mortified. She was really good about it though. She's very nice already. So that was a very embarrassing moment for me on the golf course.
Did she laugh a lot?
I can't even remember what
so long
she
ago.
was pretty good about it though. It was a long time ago, but I think I was just more mortified about how I was feeling about the whole experience. So, Dee, what about you? Have you got an embarrassing
I was
moment?
just thinking of, it's funny that mine's a bit about Laura too, but not to that degree. But I was thinking, in old times' sake, like the women's US seniors was just on, and Trish Johnson won, who we played with on tour, and Laura had to pull out. And, it's kind of nice that we can talk about people that are still playing golf at that level with Trish, which was quite amazing.
Yes,
and Laura,
yeah.
Laura, I think, injured herself and had to get, she quit.
Oh, in this most previous...
In the US Open, the senior US
Senior
Open.
US Open,
yeah.
Trish Johnson
Had a
just
great
gone.
field, and they've only had 5 senior US Opens. So
For women,
yeah, I loved watching it. I really enjoyed it.
Well,
and
we
it was-
can really relate. That's kind of
and I
our era.
think-
They're the people we played
Yeah,
with.
and I think also most of our viewers, male, female,
Yes.
can relate because the distances and these women can still get it out there. And there was the oldest lady who made the cut was an American, and she was 65. And I thought, oh, this is chanceful. No. Anyway, my most embarrassing moment, I still remember it. I was in Belgium as well, at Waterloo. Was my first event as a professional on the Ladies European Tour. And behind me, I had Laura Davies and Murray Lord de Lorenzi de Taya.
Who was like number one on the tour at the time.
And her, and anyway. And I remember this whole, and I was very nervous. I don't know, I was really quite nervous. Anyway.
Well, first ever hole in professional golf on the European tour.
With Laura Davies and these
Yeah.
superstars behind you.
Yeah.
My husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, fiance, he was caddying for me. And so we tee off, and there were trees on the right. I don't remember, I've got selective remembering. I only remember the best things, but I remember this one, which wasn't the best thing. And there were trees, and I hit a little fade into the trees. But it was okay, not trees, just a little rough stuff. Oh, I was so relieved. I got down there. I'm like so glad to get off the tee, so they're not there.
Yeah,
They're
the
waiting on
first
the
tee jitters, which everybody
And
has.
they're kind of, because Laura's quite quick, so she was already on the
She's
tee.
very quick.
So we get down there, and I say to John, "Oh, great, here's my ball," and I whack it out of the rough, and I go, "Oh, that's really good," and I get it down there near the green. It's a par 4, so I think I'm good. I wasn't on the green, but I'm happy. Got out of the rough down there, chip putt. I'll walk off the par.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
you're just getting comfortable with the whole
I'm
thing.
getting comfortable
Yeah,
with the whole
yeah.
thing. I get down there. I don't know if we're allowed. I get down there, and I look at my ball, and I'm like,
Uh-oh. Is it not yours?
beep, beep, beep.
Is it not your ball?
It's not my ball. It's not my ball. It's not my ball.
no.
I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm hyperventilating. I think I'm nearly crying.
2-shot penalty.
Apart from the penalty, I have to go back and hold up Dame Laura Davies, Murray Lord Lorenzi.
They probably already hit off the tee,
Yes.
so you have to go back.
So I have to go back. They now have to stop. I don't really know if to wave them through. I can't even remember who I was playing with, but I didn't have to wave them through.
Oh, did you let them through?
No, I didn't, because the people I was playing with
Didn't
who knew
want to.
more than me. Oh, you know the nice girl who, the Swiss girl. I was playing with the Swiss
Oh,
girl.
Evelyn
Swiss
Orley?
girl. Yes, maybe. Is she Swish? Yeah, whatever.
Swish.
Swish, she's swish.
She swish.
She was pretty swish, actually. She wore really nice clothes.
She was very swish.
Just like me, wearing nice clothes. I'm swish now as well. Anyway, it was the most embarrassing, so I had to go back, hold up Laura,
Okay.
take my penalty, and I
That's not too bad. I think in the grand scheme of golfing embarrassments...
missed the cut by 1.
Yeah.
You made the cut, I remember. I missed the cut.
There was
by 1.
both of our first... The same event was our first. It was the Belgian
I was a
Open.
late bloomer.
It was the same event. It was our first ever. I've never been so excited because I had a poor first round. I think I shot 82 the first round, and then I had a 77 in the second round, which just got me on the cut. I was so excited to make that first ever tournament we played, and I made the cut. I was so excited. I remember I got a check for £600 that week.
Oh, that was pretty big.
Yeah, I was pretty. I had a photo taken with my check. I was so excited.
Well,
Sorry,
you say it wasn't embarrassing, but I think there is a lesson there for all our viewers as well, all listeners, is that, check your ball. Like, I was just happy
Yes.
to find it. So
Yeah.
if you check your ball, no matter
Always check
what
it. Or
level
put a
we're at.
marker on it, like a
Yeah.
pink dot or whatever.
And then know the rules. Know where you should have been. Maybe we need to prepare for the bad things rather than all the good things, because then I would have known whether I should have waved Laura and Murray Law through what I should have done. Do you know what I mean? But I still remember it. I wanted to be ill. And I still had 17 holes to go.
Oh no. Well, anyway, on that note,
Happy note.
send us in your
My Swiss
questions
jacket.
and your most embarrassing moment on the golf course, and we will analyse it and probably tell you it's not that embarrassing.
And also, like any other ideas, come on, be part of this
yeah,
community.
we'd love to have you involved.
What
and
do you want?
I
What do you
hope
wanna
you've
hear
enjoyed
about?
our first ever episode, and we will look forward to seeing you for the next one.
Don't forget to, is it listen? Is that what you do?
I
Or
don't know.
view?
Do you like and subscribe the same way you do on YouTube?
I don't know. Anyway, have fun. We are like my Swiss jacket.
Send us some ideas and some questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Bye
Bye.
from ProGolfGals.
Bye.